The Demon House of Gary, when police documented the impossible, a caseworker and nurse watched a child walk backward up a hospital wall, then filed official reports confirming what they saw. Late November 2011 marks the beginning of what will become one of the most thoroughly documented cases of alleged demonic possession in modern American history. LaToya Ammons signs the lease on a rental home on Carolina Street in Gary, Indiana. The house is affordable, spacious enough for her 3 children and her mother Rosa Campbell. The family moves in with optimism. The neighborhood is quiet. The house seems ordinary. Within weeks, that perception shatters completely. December arrives with the first winter cold settling over the industrial Midwest. Inside the screened porch of the Carolina Street house, something impossible begins. Large black flies appear in swarms, clustering against the screens, crawling across the frames. LaToya and Rosa move through the porch with rolled newspapers and fly swatters, clearing the insects away. The next day, they return. The temperature outside drops below freezing. The flies should not exist in these conditions. Yet they persist, wave after wave, appearing without source or explanation. Rosa Campbell discovers the second phenomenon. She descends into the basement on a routine errand and stops at the bottom of the stairs. Wet boot prints mark the concrete floor, large prints, adult-sized, tracking from the far corner of the basement toward the stairs. The prints are fresh. The floor around them is dry. No one in the family wears boots that size. No one has been in the basement that morning. Rosa follows the prints with her eyes. They lead upward, ascending the staircase she has just descended, as though something walked from the basement into the living areas of the home. She calls LaToya down. Together they examine the prints. Neither woman can explain them. The prints appear again the following week, then again, always wet, always leading upward. Night brings new disturbances. Footsteps echo through the hallways when the family is in bed. Heavy, deliberate steps crossing the second floor. LaToya rises to investigate. The hallway is empty. She checks on her children. All 3 are asleep. She returns to her room. The footsteps resume an hour later. This pattern continues night after night. The family begins sleeping in shifts, unwilling to leave the children alone in the darkness. The children begin to change. The oldest daughter, a girl barely into her teens, wakes in the middle of the night convulsing. Her body seizes, her eyes roll back. Rosa holds her granddaughter, speaking softly, trying to calm her. The episode passes after several minutes. The girl remembers nothing. It happens again the next week, then twice in one night. The daughter begins to describe what she sees during the day. Shadowy figures in the corners of rooms, dark shapes moving through doorways. She is terrified to be alone. The youngest son exhibits behavior that leaves the family paralyzed with fear. One morning, Rosa enters the kitchen and screams. The boy is standing on top of the refrigerator, not climbing, standing. His small body balanced on the narrow top of the appliance, several feet above the floor. His eyes are rolled back completely, showing only white. A low growl emanates from his throat, guttural and inhuman. Rosa reaches for him. The boy snaps out of the trance and nearly falls. She catches him, pulls him down. He has no memory of climbing up. He does not know how he got there. LaToya Ammons realizes her family is under attack. She seeks help through every channel available. She contacts local churches. She reaches out to family members. Word of the disturbances spreads. The situation deteriorates so severely that the children are brought to a local hospital for evaluation. Medical professionals hope to find a physiological explanation for the convulsions, the trances, the behavioral changes. What happens at the hospital instead becomes the most witnessed and documented event of the entire case. Valerie Washington, a caseworker with Indiana's Department of Child Services, is present at the hospital to evaluate the family situation. A registered nurse is in the room, conducting standard medical observations. LaToya's young son is being examined. The boy is calm initially, then his demeanor changes, his eyes glaze. He begins to move in a way that defies the physical laws everyone present understands to govern reality. The child walks backward, not stumbling but moving with deliberate steps. backward toward the wall. His feet touch the wall. He continues moving, upward, walking backward up the vertical surface of the hospital room wall as though gravity has released its hold on him. Valerie Washington watches in frozen disbelief. The nurse beside her makes a sound of shock. The boy reaches the place where the wall meets the ceiling. His body flips. He lands on his feet on the floor, his eyes clear. He appears unaware that anything unusual has occurred. Valerie Washington returns to her office and does something extraordinary. She writes a formal report documenting exactly what she witnessed. The registered nurse provides a corroborating statement. Both professionals stake their reputations on the accuracy of their account. A hospital physician who evaluates the children after this incident finds no medical explanation for what has been described. The physician takes an unprecedented step. He requests a consultation with a church minister. The medical establishment, confronted with phenomena beyond its framework, reaches toward the spiritual. Captain Charles Austin of the Gary Police Department receives the case file. A veteran officer, Austin approaches the investigation with professional skepticism. He interviews the family. He speaks with Valerie Washington and reviews her written report. He contacts the medical staff who treated the children. Every professional involved describes events that should not be possible. Austin makes the decision to visit the Carolina Street house himself. What Captain Austin experiences at the residence is significant enough that he files an official police report acknowledging unexplained phenomena. The report enters the public record. It becomes one of a handful of American police documents to formally note witnessed paranormal activity. Austin later speaks publicly about the case, stating that what he encountered at the house left him convinced that something beyond natural explanation was present. The Catholic Church becomes involved through Father Michael Maginot, a clergyman serving in the Gary area. Maginot visits the Ammons family and hears their account. He tours the Carolina Street house. He conducts a blessing of the home. The activity does not cease. He returns to perform a second blessing, then a third. The oppressive presence in the house persists. Maginot petitions his bishop for permission to perform a formal exorcism. The request is granted. Maginot conducts the ritual of exorcism on Latoya Ammons herself, following the protocols established by the Roman Catholic Church for confronting demonic possession. The danger throughout these months concentrates most intensely on the children. It is the children who levitate, who walk up walls, who convulse and growl and lose time. It is the children who bear the visible marks of whatever inhabits the Carolina Street house. The Department of Child Services investigation runs parallel to the paranormal investigation, not because Latoya Ammons has harmed her children, but because state employees have witnessed events they cannot ignore and cannot explain through any framework their training has provided. A judge who later reviews the DCS case makes a public statement. She says she believes the Ammons family. She acknowledges that something extraordinary occurred. After the exorcism performed by Father Maginot, Latoya Ammons reports an immediate change. The oppressive weight she has felt for months lifts. The presence that has tormented her family recedes. The Ammons family leaves the Carolina Street house and relocates to Indianapolis. They do not return. The house itself remains. In 2014, paranormal filmmaker Zach Bagans purchases the property with the intention of documenting whatever remains inside. Bagans and his crew spend time in the house filming for what will become the documentary Demon House, released in 2018. Bagans later reports severe negative effects on himself and his crew during the investigation. Equipment malfunctions, crew members fall ill. Bagans himself experiences psychological and physical symptoms he attributes to the house. Before completing his documentary, Bagans makes a decision that shocks observers. He orders the house demolished. In 2016, heavy equipment reduces the Carolina Street house to rubble. Bagans states publicly that he made the choice out of concern for the surrounding community, believing the house posed a genuine danger. The legacy of the Latoya Ammons case rests not on folklore or second-hand accounts, but on official documentation. A registered nurse filed a report. A DCS caseworker filed a report. A police captain filed a report. A judge made a public statement. Medical records exist. Court documents exist. These are professionals whose careers depend on credibility, who went on record affirming that they witnessed events with no natural explanation. The case file contains the kind of evidentiary foundation that paranormal researchers rarely obtain. Multiple trained observers, writing contemporaneous accounts, staking their professional reputations on the accuracy of their testimony. In Gary, Indiana, in the 21st century, in a modest rental house on Carolina Street, something occurred that left a trail of official documentation spanning law enforcement, child welfare services, medical institutions, and religious authorities. Every system designed to protect and explain failed to provide adequate framework for what was witnessed. The professionals involved were forced to confront the possibility that their understanding of reality was incomplete. The Ammons family endured months of sustained terror that left them traumatized. The house that contained that terror no longer stands, but the reports remain. The testimony remains. The official acknowledgement that something impossible occurred remains in the public record. A challenge to anyone who insists that the paranormal cannot intrude into the documented, verified, witnessed world of modern America. If you found this case compelling, subscribe to Vanishing Roads for more documented paranormal investigations from around the world. This story was created with AI assistance based on documented case files. All events reference real investigations and reported incidents.